To tonight. Welcome to tonight's workshop. Today is very special. This is such a great opportunity that we are being given, one, to learn what coding is about, but also the opportunity to get free training in a field that is quite lucrative. So it is just such an amazing opportunity, and I'm glad that you're all here to learn about it and to see if this is something you want to take advantage of. So welcome everyone. Julia, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to get to show y'all. I'm like getting into my excited pose because I get really excited about talking about code and showing y'all I'm going to start at like the basics. Like literally, if you've never done anything like this before ever, this is exactly for you. So I'm going to share my screen in a minute and show you some really cool stuff like behind the scenes of a website. And I hope that it kind of makes you go, oh, wow, like I didn't realize it was that non-complicated. That's really what I'm trying to achieve here today. So if you have any questions, I've got the chat on my other screen, so I can keep an eye on it there. If you have any questions, just drop them in there. I would encourage you, if possible, to follow along. So I don't have slides or anything like that. I'm going to be sharing my screen. And if you are able to follow along, you'll get a lot more out of it. And all you need to follow along is ideally the Chrome browser. So when you kind of open up to look into internet, if you have the Chrome browser, then you'll be able to follow along. It's free to download, but I know this is being recorded, so you can always go back and check it out later on. But yeah, it's just good fun to follow along. So I will just jump right in, and we'll chat about. I'll show you like some coding behind the scenes of websites. And then we'll talk about the program that we have set up, and then I've partnered with Dress for Success and to see if it's something I might be interested in. So let's dive in. Okay, share. Awesome. Can y'all see that okay? Excellent. So I just picked the Zoom website, but what I would love from y'all is if you could just drop any website in the chat, because I want to show you how what I'm going to show you can be done, on any website. So any website you can think of. I picked Zoom, so I'll show you some stuff on here. But if any other website that you want to kind of see changes being made to, drop it in the chat, and I'll pull that up as well. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be using something called Inspect Tools. It's completely free, and it's going to look kind of funny at first if you've never seen it before, but we'll talk through it. So we're going to be specifically talking about websites, because that's what I kind of specialize in, building websites, and I like to focus on the code side, the hard side, but it's not. So what I'm going to be showing you today is two coding languages. One is HTML and one is CSS. Don't worry about the specifics of kind of what they mean or anything like that. If you want to learn more, there's resources. So just know that's what we're going to be looking at today, which HTML is like the building blocks of a website, the structure, kind of what you see. CSS is the style. So think the button or the font size or colors and things like that. So just a heads up as to what those are. So what I'm going to do, okay, I've got a website dropped in the chat. Thank you very much. I'm going to pick an element on the site to inspect, to kind of look under the hood effectively. So if I'm going to do it to this headline bit of text here. So all I'm going to do is right click, and there's this thing here that says inspect. So if y'all are on a computer, you can absolutely follow along. And like I said, it's much easier to do in with Chrome. So I'm just going to click on inspect. Now this is going to bring up this console down here at the bottom. Now don't worry about what's there. If you've never looked at anything like this before, it will look like a whole bunch of gobbledygook. So don't worry about that. That's completely normal if you're brand new to this. But we're going to, let me move the camera. There we go. So what and you might be saying, oh, wait, hang on. Mine looks different. So yours might be on the right side of your screen or on the left. So if it is, and if you want it to look like mine, over here on the right, I've got these 3 little dots on top of each other. So you can move where the dock is. So yours might look like that, which is fine. You can leave it there if you want. I like to have mine at the bottom. It's just how I've always had it. So it's just normal for me. So I'm going to move my dock down there to the bottom. So what we have, I'm just going to kind of show you when I start hovering over and moving my mouse in all these different areas, you can see how things kind of light up on the screen. So that's what we're kind of inspecting, so to speak. And then same again, if I want to hover over areas on the website, then there's this little button down here on the left. It's like a box with an arrow. If I click on that and it's blue, then I do the same. I can kind of hover and see different things. So that's how you identify the element that you want to make a change to. So down here in the bottom, we've got the big section. This is all HTML. And over here on the right, that's CSS. So let's make a change. Let's just see what we can do so you can kind of see it in action. So I've got my little select tool is selected. And I want to come back to that headline that we talked about at the very beginning, Zoom to acquire 5.9, whatever that means. So I've clicked on it. So now if I come down here, I can see, you can actually see the text. Like there's Zoom to acquire 5.9, it's right there. So what if we wanted to make that font size bigger? So if we want to do that, if I come over here to the right to the CSS, now remember I said CSS is all about like the style of the website. So all we're going to do is I'm going to click in here, see where it says font size 44. I'm just going to click into it. Oh, sorry about that. My husband's calling. Let's see, font size. I'm going to add a 1 to make that 144 and see how big that font now jumps to. I did not tell him I was on a call. So now you can see that that's just making that one change all of a sudden that is much, much bigger. Now that's obnoxiously big, like we would never do that. And I'm going to be showing you some stuff where I'm not going to make the website look better. I'm going to like make it look funny, but just for the purposes of kind of seeing what can be done. So that's font size. What if we wanted to change the color? Then all you have to do is type in color. And as you start to type things, it will auto-generate some CSS options for you. So I typed in color and it did it for me. And then what I want to do is I want to hit tab to kind of jump across. So we've got color, colon, and then let's say we want it to be red. Now all of a sudden that font color is red. Now what I'm not doing is I'm not changing the live site. So I'm making these changes on my computer only. So someone else looking at Zoom right now will not see these changes. If I refresh the page, it just goes back to normal. So that's something to kind of think about. It is just playing around. But the really cool thing about this is if you do decide that you want to kind of work on websites or build websites, if you ever see a really cool feature on another website, you can inspect and figure out how that was made and how they did that. So for example, maybe you want a button to be similar to this one. Then all you would need to do is come in and click on the little select tool and go up to the button and select that. And you can see over here more information about it. So you can see what color it is. You can see the background color is that orange, it's got a border, it's got a font weight. And again, like don't worry about all the detail that's going on. I just want to show you that what a website is made up of is this. It's the HTML, kind of the structure, and then the CSS and all the different styles and colors. So say we wanted to change the color of this button to purple. There we go. So now you can see that, and it's actually changed it everywhere. So you can see it's got different, that purple is changed on the buttons as well. So there's just a couple things that you can change on websites. Let me open up, let's see, use ircc.com. Let me open this and we'll play around. that maybe it needs something else to it. I'm going to open up this one instead, just in case there was a security issue there. So let's go with Dress for Success. So let's change this up a bit. What if we wanted to change this banner up here at the top to a different color? So I'm going to right click and hit inspect. And then, so I can immediately see over here where it says border bottom, it's that kind of maroon color. So if I want to change that border bottom to be thicker and to be a different color, then I just come in here and I kind of click on this area. So right now it's saying that that border bottom is 53 pixels high. So that's kind of what that 53 is. So if I change that to 153, now that border bottom is much, much taller. And then let's change the color to, now what you see here with that hashtag and the 6 kind of letters and numbers, that's a hex code. So you can use hex codes. I mean, it's really best to use hex code. I just don't really know them offhand. So if I say green, then now, I mean, don't get me wrong, that doesn't look very good for the branding and everything else, but you can kind of see some of the stuff and how that changes. Buttons from hovers you can change the font. So say, for example, you're building a website, or you're working on a website, or you know someone who has a website, they want to make some changes, and they're kind of thinking, I'd love to have a different picture here, or change the font to something different, or the font size, the font color. You can go in and you can make those changes that aren't temporary, and then you can see what it would look like in real life. So let's change an image, actually, because that's always good fun. So I see there's a background image here. Let me refresh it and get that border bottom out of the way. And if there's anything that y'all want to see done, okay, it's .ca, the website. Oh, thank you. If there's anything that you kind of can think of that you want to see me try to do, please feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll give it a go. But let's change this background image. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So what I've done is I've gone to the little box with an arrow, and I've clicked on the image. And what I can see over here on the right is, see where it says background image and then it says URL. We're all super familiar with what URLs are, right? I mean, denver.dressforsuccess.org, that's a URL. So this image is being pulled from that URL. Well, I want to change the image. So I'm going to go to Pixabay, which is one of my favorite places to get like free, royalty-free stock images. And I'm going to put in a dog because I just love dogs. And that picture is adorable. So what I want to do is all I need is a URL of this image to swap it out on the Denver Dress for Success site. So if I right click on this image and I click on copy image address. So that's all we need to do, copy image address. Then if I jump back to the Dress for Success site, and I'm still over here where this where we've got that URL, and let's see if it will let me change. It's pulling up this funny thing. Oh, here we go. Oh. Let's see. Normally that is a new feature. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, we're there. So I'm going to replace that, and there we go. Now we got a pug on the Denver Dress for Success website. So that's just kind of showing you a couple ways that you can kind of play around with websites and make changes. And obviously that's not live. That's just changed there. So that's a very kind of quick showing of the behind the scenes of how a website is built. And really, at the end of the day, and again, this is all going to look like complete gobbledygook, and that's totally fine. But it's this HTML and it's the CSS over here on the right. So that's inspect tools. Let me look at my notes because I did have some other stuff I wanted to show y'all. Mobile responsive. So how many times, and let me know in the chat, how many times have you looked at a website on your phone? Now you're on your phone, you're looking at a website, and it's terrible on the phone. Like it's almost impossible to kind of do anything with. It's you have to zoom in, or it just looks awful, and it's frustrating, and you can't really move around, and you leave. So the importance of a website looking good on a phone, I cannot stress it enough. Like not just for users, but Google is really, really strict about a website showing up in their search if only if it looks good on a phone. So it's really, really important for a website to look good on the phone. You kind of think, well, you know, I've got this phone size and someone else might have a different phone size, or tablets. You know, you got iPods or iPads and all the other tablets that are out there, and they're all different sizes. So getting it to look good in different places is tough. But there's a way using inspect tools where you can look at what a website would look like on a phone, on a tablet, on a laptop, and on a big computer. So again, here we are just with inspect tools up, and right next to the little square with an arrow is the device toolbar. So if you click that on, now we can see what this website looks like on a phone. So let me drag this down slightly. So this is what it would look like on a small mobile device. And then if you here up at the top, you kind of click out to go a little bit bigger, that's a little bit bigger of a phone, and then a larger phone, and then that's what it would look like on a tablet. And you can kind of test it out just like you're on an actual tablet or a phone. And then here it is at a laptop size, and that's a large laptop, and you can even see what it looks like on a really big kind of 4K desktop. So that's a really cool feature as well to, if say, for example, you did want to learn how to build websites and things like that. And this is what I tell my students all the time, is find websites where it doesn't look good on a mobile device, and then show that potential client how you could make it look better on a mobile device. And that's all easily learnable, how to kind of make the changes to the code to make it look good on different devices. But Gloria, your website looks very good on a phone, so I love it. All right, so that was mobile responsiveness. Okay, so the next thing I want to show y'all, and do you have any questions before I kind of keep on going? Is everyone kind of cool, happy with everything? Everyone following along well enough?
I do have a question.
Oh yeah, go for
it. So this is only in your client side, right? It's not on the server. Of course, it's not on the server. So it's only the instance that's opening in your web browser, right?
Yes,
the changes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. So any changes that I make, so if I turn the mobile bit off, and I made that change to this before, so you know, say we wanted to make that really big, and if you were to go to the Denver Dress for Success site now, you would not see what I see. So that's yeah, it's just on my browser that I see it, because as soon as I hit refresh, it goes away. Now, that being said, that kind of leads me into the next thing I want to show y'all that, again, I don't know, maybe I'm just a super geek, but let me grab this link here. Now, what I'm going to show you, please, I showed my students this recently, so I will ask you to please code responsibly with this knowledge. It's a really fun thing to kind of show friends and family. So what I'm going to do now, I love Target. I do not have a Target in my town. I would love to have a Target in my town, but we don't have one. So the closest one is about an hour south of here. But what if I could pretend like a Target was coming to my town and show my friends and my family just as kind of a joke to show off my ninja coding skills? So that's kind of what this is. So again, please code responsibly when doing this. So say I wanted for a Target to be opening in Durango on September 26th. And we can do that with inspect tools. So I'm going to hit inspect. And then, so what I'm looking for is this exact text. So Michigan, Ann Arbor, State Street. I want to change that. And I can see here in the HTML, see where it says Michigan, Ann Arbor, that's the exact text that's on the website. So I'm going to change that to Colorado, Durango. I'll just say Main Street. There's no way they could fit a Target on Main Street, but, and then if I, hang on. I literally did this the other day and it worked. That, I love teaching tech live because things like this always happen. Okay, let me try it on this one. Oh, you know what? Use this one. Maybe Target, there we go. Okay. I was about to say, I think Target might have gotten savvy to this. So it's just, you see how I've got these little arrows like pointing down. Those are like different levels of what's happening on the website. And I just wasn't deep enough in the level. So that's all it was. Thank you for your patience as I bumble my way through on live. So there we go. So what I've done, and I'm going to change this other one. No, that's okay. That can stay. So all I've done is I've just changed that. So now it looks like there's a Target coming to my town. And then what you can do is I've closed Inspect Tools, but I've not hit refresh. And you can take a screenshot. And then it's kind of like a cool thing to go, hey, look, and then go, haha, I'm just kidding. That's just me showing you my ninja coding skills. And I actually had a student who got a client doing this exact thing because he was in a Facebook group talking about in his local town, talking about Target. And then someone said, oh my gosh, if you know how to do that, surely you know how to, build a website for me, sort of thing. So I've had students who will change, they'll go to like their favorite concert or favorite music artist, and then they'll change it and say, hey, look, so-and-so is coming to my town next week, and just show it off. So it's really just good fun. Like I said, please code responsibly with this with this knowledge. But it's a cool way to kind of go, oh, look what I learned, and kind of how it all is put together. So, but I guess what I really hope y'all enjoyed with this is what you may not have known. What are we, 22 minutes in? Now you do. And I hope that in a short period of time, you've kind of seen this and gone, oh, wow, like it's not this super fancy Hollywood thing that no one can learn. It's actually something that is totally doable. And this exact thing is how I start all of my students out showing is this, because it's just like oh, okay, yeah, I can do that sort of thing. So let's see, let me take a look. Their arrows are, those arrows always have an ending arrow with a backslash, and they are called tags. Oh, awesome. So the other thing that I wanted to show y'all, if you don't have any questions or anything, and I would love to see screenshots of any of this stuff that y'all do. I always get such a kick out of when my students email me with kind of screenshots of like, look what I changed here and look how I changed there. And that's really when you kind of really get the feel for it all, is when you get a chance to kind of dive in and do more of that. So
Julia, hi,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I actually have a question.
Sure, yeah.
Can you see a character limitation of a text box using inspect? So for example, if you would like to change that location, that entire 2 paragraphs and, substitute it with some other text, and can I see how many characters I can fit into that text box?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So let me get some cupcake. Ipsum.
On that, I do have a question. It should be in the properties how many characters should fit in the text. If it is free-flowing text, can we find that out from the properties? Like how long is a text box?
You should. I mean, I imagine you can put in as much as you want. I'm just getting some dummy text here to kind of try. So I'm going to copy that and then come back to here. So let's see how much we can put in. Yeah, so you can put in quite a lot. Did that answer your question, or was there something else?
Yeah, I mean, it did, but will it be responsive as well? So if you would like to put on my phone, will it appear like truncated?
So if we look at it on a phone, Target's website on a phone isn't great. It's, yeah, I mean, just seeing it on a phone, it's a lot of text there, and you probably want to kind of format it to have paragraph breaks and maybe bold or headlines and things like that. But yeah, you can absolutely see what it looks like there on a phone. And yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, already. Thank you.
All right, yeah, you're welcome. It's a really cool way to kind of just try putting things in and just to see what looks good where and how it looks on a phone and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely. Awesome.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So coding, so obviously it's making the website, right? We would be inputting all of this and creating the website ourselves, right? What
Yeah,
is the average cost of like what does a person charge for doing this?
for
Like
building a
creating the
website.
website? The average cost.
Oh gosh. Pricing is always a fun conversation. So if you imagine, honestly, it could be anywhere from $500 to 50 grand plus.
Oh,
So the range is massive. And that's because, like, if you think of a website that has maybe 5 pages, that doesn't have any like massive functionality, it doesn't have e-commerce store, all it really has is an info page, maybe an about page, maybe a contact form, something like that, will be significantly less time to build, and it will be the price of that would be significantly less than, say, something like this Target website, where there's a whole lot going on, there's a lot of functionality, there's hundreds of pages and things like that. So the range is huge. I have for my students, they range, I would say most of my students, until they kind of get to the agency level where they're building big websites, I would say the average is probably in the kind of $2,000 to $5,000 range. That's probably the average for what websites my students are building. And those can take you, I mean, once you've been doing it for a while, a week, if that.
wow.
So yeah, and I primarily, because I mean, you can build a website entirely just from scratch, from coding. I use a content management system, you're probably familiar with it, called WordPress. Super popular, not super user friendly, but totally learnable. I want to say now it's like 45% of all websites in the world use WordPress. So it's a very, very popular system to use. And my programs, we'll talk about it in a minute, we primarily focus on the code of it, because with a lot of difficulties come along with working with WordPress, like you need updates and it breaks and it gets hacked and all these things. And what I teach my students is not only how to build websites using WordPress, or I mean, you can build them from scratch if you want, but also how to fix issues, how to, like, say you get hacked and there's like malware all over your website. I teach them how to clean that up, how to kind of manipulate the HTML and the CSS. So we really dive into the kind of under the hood, the back end stuff. And the reason I teach the code side of WordPress is because you can get paid a whole heck of a lot more. I mean, your hourly rate skyrockets immediately when you know how to code. And it also just means that you learn like the hard way. But then any request that comes in for really anything techie, you can handle, because you kind of learned this thing harder way versus the easy way that most people learn it. So that's kind of the I guess a bit of a pitch on WordPress. Question, Carolina, how would you suggest getting started in coding? So I probably should have said at the beginning, I am completely self-taught, 100%. Here, I'll stop sharing my screen. I'm complete. Oh wow, we get a lot of folks on. Wow, how fun! I didn't realize that.
We have 28 ladies.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm completely self-taught. I Googled everything, I YouTubed everything, and I have zero degree or education in anything techie or computers or anything like that. So it's totally learnable. I do have a free 5-day coding challenge. Like if y'all wanted to, like what we've done here is effectively like the first day of what I kind of go through. And that's completely free. If you want to check that out, awesome. But what I wanted to kind of tell you all about is this opportunity to join my program. So do y'all have any questions about what I've shown you or anything else kind of coding wise before we kind of dive in? Gloria, did you have anything?
I don't have questions, but ladies, please ask away.
So I do have a question. Is this being recorded? Because I missed the first few minutes of this I guess it wasn't registered. So I just kind of missed how we ended up getting to where we were and how we were able to do what we were doing.
Hi, Eden. Yes, it is being recorded. And in those emails that I sent out, it lets you know how to, if you go actually just to YouTube and look up Dress for Success Denver, make sure you put the Denver in and say channel, you'll come up with our channel and you can go there and see the whole thing.
Thank you. I've already subscribed. Thank you so much.
Yay, awesome.
Awesome. All right. What are some helpful websites to learn? So there's tons. Let me think. Of course, now I can't think of any. Put me on the spot. Let me think about it. It will come to me. But there are, if you just put in Google, like learn to code, there are a free code camp. I think that's one. If you like look to learn HTML and CSS, like I said, I've got a free 5-day coding challenge. If you want to check that out, I can drop the link, and then you can kind of check that out. And that's not specific to WordPress, but it is very specific to HTML and CSS, like we've done here. So. Is it cool if I tell you all about the Geek for Geek initiative program? Is that all right if I share that with y'all? Awesome. So Arena says, is it easy to learn to code for someone who has not done that before at all? Yes, 100%. That's exactly, I would say 90% of my students have never done anything like this before at all. I mean, if you enjoyed what I just did and kind of could see how I was making those changes and you either followed along or you go back and kind of play around with it yourself, you have already like gotten over a hurdle that most people will never even try. So just playing around in inspect tools, like I just showed you, that you're miles ahead of most people. So that is your first step. Just play around with it. If you get a kick out of making changes and seeing that the change on your screen, and you think that's something cool that you might want to do more, then yeah, you can absolutely learn. Eden, do you have classes for kids? I do actually have a kids code camp. I didn't even think about that, but yes, I do have a kids code camp. We created it right when COVID kicked off, so we had something for the kids. So awesome. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about this Geek for Geek initiative. I do have a link to apply, but what it is I reached out to Dress for Success because my business, Geek Pack, and I have a course. I've mentioned students a couple times. I have a course, a program. It's called WP Rockstar. WordPress, WP, of course, stands for WordPress. I can't say WordPress because, copyright and all that. So it's called WP Rockstar. And what's included is we go through like very, very beginning of coding, of WordPress, of building a WordPress site. all the things that go along with it, themes and plugins and all that stuff. So you get the skills that come with the course. So learning all those skills, HTML, CSS in depth. We go into another coding language called PHP, which is considered like a scary, hard language, but I teach it in a way that most people say makes sense. So it's totally doable. And then, so that's kind of the skills side. We've actually there's a company out there called WP Engine. They're a big WordPress company, and they've partnered with me, and they've actually donated a number of their premium WordPress themes, which normally they cost like $130 each, into the program. So that's in there as well. So you know, how to build WordPress sites in a lot of different ways, because there are a lot of different ways. We have stuff on finding clients, on setting up an online business, on using, you know, social media as an online business owner. So I should say from the beginning, my program is primarily focused on women. Our target market is totally women. Is women who want to either start their own online business or maybe work for a company that where they can work specifically on WordPress sites. But if you want to be able to start your own business, work from home, have a side hustle, all that sort of stuff, that's where a portion of the course is kind of focused on. But we do have a lot of students who take the knowledge from the program and go in and either find a job, a job, or who already have a job, and they apply those skills to get a promotion, to get a raise, to, you know, do all those things. So there's a lot of different ways to use the skills in there. And what we're going to do is we have, so I've got this program, and I wanted to partner with an organization like Dress for Success to offer a number of places in my course at no cost. So normally my course is $500, and we have set aside 20 places for Dress for Success women to join the program at no cost. So that would be all access to the entire program, and I could show y'all the membership area if you wanted to kind of see what was included, but access to the entire program, plus 6 months access in my private community, Facebook community. So I have a team of 5 women who work for me, and it's like tech support with a heart, this community. It's called Geek Pack, the community, and that is you would get 6 months access in that community as well to ask questions. It's all about, it's really supportive and encouraging. And I don't know about you, but when I was learning how to code all on my own, I was so terrified about asking questions and finding a community where I wouldn't be ridiculed or embarrassed, or someone would say, you don't know how to do that, well then you know you're not real, or whatever, which did happen. And it's really unfortunate that there's nasty people out there like that. And that's exactly why I created the Geek Pack community. That is not allowed. Like, there's no negativity. Douchey people are not allowed. So it's a very supportive and encouraging community. Yes, it's heart-based 100%. And my entire team is amazing. So that's kind of the partnership, and that's what we're partnering on. And we would love for y'all to apply if you would like to be one of the 20 women. I've got an application form that I could drop a link to. So how's that sound? I mean, is that cool?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Yes, very interested.
Awesome. All right.
Woohoo!
Let me
Hey, Julia,
grab...
this is Ida. I have a quick question. Sorry.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to take this is because I just joined like another nonprofit, and to raise money, they're making T-shirts and just starting from ground up. So they're going to need a website and things like that. And I thought, well, I can learn it and then make it for them. So are you going to teach e-commerce side of it too, how to build e-commerce into the website?
Yeah, so we do have part of it is actually, do y'all have, is it okay if I just share my screen and show you the membership area so you can see what all is included? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Share screen. Okay. Oh, I don't need that anymore. Okay, so if you apply and you get in, like I said, we've got spot for 20 women, and you'll get login details, and then you'll land here, and you will get swag. All of my students get swag, so I love seeing all the pictures of all my students wearing swag all over the place. So you'll land here, and you'll see we've got these 6 modules. A welcome, just to kind of like show you around. I mentioned that 5-day coding challenge, which we include in the paid membership area, but if y'all kind of want access to it, that's absolutely fine. WP Rockstar, this is like the core course, which is really very, very skills based, from the languages to like back end of WordPress and migrating sites and hosting and domains and all that fun stuff. I think it's fun. But what I wanted to show you was here, this Zero to WP Hero. So I mentioned the partnership with WP Engine, the big WordPress company. And what they have done, I'll click into here, is they've given us access to 6 of their premium themes. So if you were to go, I can show you, if I click on Monochrome Pro in the intro and setup, if I click this link here, it will show you exactly the theme. Of course, I'm logged in, so it doesn't say. Normally, it'll say, normal price $130 or something like that. But what you can do is you can go in and you can look at the live demo. So if you wanted to build a website for as you said, this nonprofit, you have 6 like demo websites that are already kind of done for you, and then you're just loading and swapping the content in and out. And all of those 6 have shops that are part of it. So if you were to go in and load all this up, and I show you how to do all of that, you do have all of the kind of shop functionality. So yes, that as long story short, that is included. So here you can see I go through everything, and then this last lesson is Woocommerce. Woocommerce is the shop e-commerce plugin that goes with WordPress. So long story short, yes. And then I'll show you real quick what else is in here. I really love this expert content vault. This is, I've got lots and lots of colleagues all around the world who do different things as online business owners. And I've had them come into the community and kind of share about what they do and how my students can learn more. So we have content on finding clients, we have content on social media, mindset, and we have a ton on online business skills. So you can kind of see here what all is included. And I mean, this is just the expert content vault that's included there. And then we have a ton of stuff on finding clients and online business as well. So I'll stop sharing. I hope that was useful. I've been wanting to learn to code for years. An old boyfriend used to do it. Awesome, I love it. What equipment do you need to start? Just a laptop? Yes, a laptop, an internet connection, a PC or a Mac is fine. But yes, and everything that is in the course is you don't have to pay for anything to go through the course material. If eventually you want your own website to be live on the internet, there's 2 kind of fees that come along with that. You need to buy a domain name. So juliataylor.com, you would need to buy that. And that's typically like $10 to $15 a year for a domain name. And then the other thing you would need to purchase is, it's called hosting. So think like you're renting space on the internet, and that you can get it for like $5 a month. So if you, when you want to have your own website online, or just thinking about if you know someone, the nonprofit example, who wants to have a website, those are just like hard costs that have to happen. If you want a website, you need a domain name and you need hosting. So those are just a couple things to keep in mind. Awesome. What is the website to do the classes? To join my program, I can drop the link to the application. Is that cool, Gloria? If I put that in the chat? Okay, cool. Okay. So here is the link to the application to join, to be one of the 20 from Dress for Success to join us. So that will take you to it's just a form, so you can fill that out and we'll get all the responses. Deadline of October 8th. So I'm just putting my calendar on the wall. Over about 2 weeks, if I got that right. About 2 weeks. So we've put on there for October 8th, and then we will review the applications, and then we'll let the 20 women know probably the week later. So that's the application to join. And like I said, if you're one of the 20, then we'll invite you into the program, no cost, and you'll get everything in that membership area, and 6 months in the the Geek Pack community, where you can kind of ask questions and all that. So
Is the training during the day or during the evening?
So it's completely self-paced, and you can do it absolutely anytime you want. So there's all of the content is already there in the membership area, so you could binge watch it all, I'd say over a weekend. There's a lot in there, so it would take longer than that. So you can watch it and go through it anytime you want, as fast as you want, as slow as you want. And that's why we have the community to go along with it, so that you can try something and then ask questions. You can go back and you can work something out and you can ask questions.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Can I would those skills be transferable, say, internationally?
Oh yeah, totally. I would say probably about 30% of my students are not in the US, are overseas. So
Well,
yeah.
I'm up north right now, so
Sorry?
I'm north of the border.
Okay. Oh yeah. I've got tons of Canadians. Yeah, easily.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. The only thing that you'll come up against is things like when someone wants to pay you, is the whole foreign transaction.
Yeah.
That's the only
Well, my husband's, I'm actually visiting because I'm relocating my husband up here. So we have the bank account and everything already set up, and the US dollar is stronger. So it's like, yes, please pay me Canadian.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to learn, see what the thing was, because my kids are learning coding. So I was like, well, you can check it out and see what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome.
It's a great opportunity, whether you wanted to do it full-time or part-time. My gosh, to have that side hustle going with what the potential to earn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I even if you just kind of do this and offer it, like Gloria said, on the side, when I first got started, and again, I probably should have done a bit of an intro at the beginning. I'm so excited to get started. But when I first got started, like I said, I was completely self-taught. I didn't know how to find clients. I didn't know you could have an online business. I didn't know that existed, because all I knew was 9 to 5. That's all I knew, was like a job. I call it that now, because I haven't had a real job in so long. But I taught myself, and my very first job or kind of contract job where I found a client, they were paying me $20 an hour. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. My first client and all this. And as I continued to learn and find more clients, and as I realized how valuable my skills were because I knew how to code, in 5 months and 21 days, I'm not kidding, I went from $20 an hour to $75 an hour. just because I learned how to code. So hourly rates, you can demand quite a fair amount of money, just because you can fix the hard things. You can troubleshoot, you can problem solve, and it doesn't just stop with WordPress. It doesn't just stop with websites. Like once you, my mentor jokes because she got started with WordPress, and now she does digital marketing, and she I mean, it's ridiculous what she can now do, email marketing and Facebook ads and all this sort of stuff. But the entry point, such a good entry point, is WordPress, because it's user-friendly enough, but you have to work at it. I mean, I'm not handing you, like a great job on a silver platter. The skills are there for you to learn. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not impossible, but you'll absolutely have to kind of work at it and learn. And you're literally learning a foreign language when you're learning to code. And if you look at it that way, and you will have plenty of days where you want to pull your hair out, and you'll have plenty of days where you want to shout from the rooftops and show off to everyone this really awesome thing that you've done. So there will be that kind of roller coaster of it. But at the end of the day, you're learning a genuine, as tangible as possible skill that you can put on a resume. So that there's nothing kind of fluffy about learning this stuff. So it definitely goes far. And just being able to increase my students increase their hourly rate quicker than I do. So because if I'd known what I know now, I probably would have done it in less than 5 months and 21 days. So there's real potential, no matter where you are right now, to start your own business, or contract for someone else, or if you currently are working somewhere and they need website help, to raise your hand and say, I can do that. So there's real opportunity to learn these skills, and then translate them across to other things. At the end of the day, if you know how to problem solve and troubleshoot, and someone says to you, something's broken, or do you know how to do this? And you can say, yes, I will figure it out. And you Google it and you troubleshoot, you look into it a little bit. That one skill right there is priceless. And that's a big part of kind of what we teach.
That's so awesome. There is a question on here. How many hours is the course?
It's a good question. I wish I knew, but then I might get a little kind of concerned if I did. There's a lot. So if I were to, let me break it down an easier way, because I don't know the actual amount of hours, because looking at that expert content, we add to that all the time. And so every time a new expert comes in, it's like more hours are going in. But what we tell students is, if they were to spend, 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, you could get through the content in a couple months. And that's doing it pretty quick. We have some students who will do it in a month, in a couple of weeks. We have some who, will take 6 months or a year. So I think if you were to spend an hour a day, 5 days a week, 5 hours a week, you could easily get through everything in 6 months or less.
That's a pretty cool investment there. Right? I mean, we binge
That's
watch.
not bad at all.
I know I binge watch Netflix more time than that. So, pretty awesome. What other questions, ladies, do you have? No questions? Are we sure? Did everyone copy the address for the application? Very well. Okay, so no more questions going once.
Oh, Sherry's got a
more.
question.
I do have, Gloria.
Okay.
So we're going to learn WordPress, HTML, CSS, and so you're going to use WordPress for the front end, right?
Yes, and PHP. We go into we do quite a lot of stuff in the back end, and quite a lot with PHP.
Okay, and then CS and HTML are just the styling and all of that.
Yeah.
That would also be part of it.
Yes.
I think that's it. Yeah. And if somebody comes with a background, you would still consider it, or
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say there's a good amount of students that we have that have more experience than I do. I mean, I'm the first to say, raise my hands. I don't know everything. I Google a lot still. I mean, so, and I now have, I'm very fortunate to have a team of amazing women who know a lot more than I do. So yeah, no matter how much you already know, I think that there's more, even if it's not the skills, but it's kind of the finding clients or the online business or all the additional skills that are in there from, email marketing and automations and Google My Business and Google Analytics. And, there's a whole bunch of extra stuff. It's not just the WordPress is kind of like getting your foot in the door. And then it's like, oh, wow, look at all this other amazing stuff that I could learn and offer to clients, or if you're in a job to offer as an additional kind of thing that you can do. So yeah, totally.
thank you.
Yeah.
So I had another question. If you don't get accepted, how much does this program cost?
It's $497. We do have a payment plan as well. It is 6 months at $97. So yeah, we do have the so that's an option too.
But apply.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I have no idea how many. I mean, we got 20 spots, and I have no idea how many of y'all will apply, but hopefully we can fill all the 20.
I want to apply, but I don't know that 500 words, what to write in there.
No, it's less than 500 words.
Yes, I know. I don't know what to write.
Okay. So with any application, right? You want to look at the question, you want to understand the question, right?
Yes.
And then you want to write about it. You don't have to get super fancy or anything like that. Just answer the question. So I looked at that application, and basically Julia's wanting to know that first you do want to do it, that you really do have an interest in wanting to do it, and that you're going to finish what you started, right? And so that's a concept that is true for anything. We always want to finish what we start, right? So
Yes.
why do you want to do this? Do you want to do this because, hey, it looks really fun? Or, hey, I could be more marketable this way. I want to get a side business going, and this would be perfect because it would allow me to have the flexibility, right? So you put that in there. What is your plan to be successful was the other one, right? Because this is a self-paced course, right? So discipline is required. How are you going to get through it? Are you going to say, well, every day I am going to spend an hour from this time to this time. It's my free time. I can totally commit for that. Or, hey, I have Fridays off. So on Friday, all day, I plan on being in front of the computer and doing this. So all the things that she's asking is really just wanting to know that you're interested, right? Other people are paying for this. As Julia has secured sponsors to pay for these spots, right? And we want to make sure that we're honoring the sponsors who have given so generously to those spots, right? So that's all the application is. Sometimes we get so nervous every time we see, oh, it's an application and I'm going to be judged. No, it's just express your genuine interest. I know you. All they want to know is, hey, do you really want this? Are you really going to see it through? We want to know a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you like to do. That's all. It's all. Does that sound about right, Julia?
Yes, that's perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you. There were a couple of questions. Sherry had a couple of questions. Sherry, is there a certification or something at the end? There's not. Right now, there's not. Because it is self-paced, it's hard to kind of say, like determine who actually goes through, and we don't have any grading system or anything. That being said, I am in the process of working with a official organization in Denver that kind of certifies schools. So possibly in the future, but as of now, it's self-paced. It's kind of just online learning, and then you can, I mean, you could use my logo and kind of say I was trained by, and things like that. But no, there's nothing official. But that's not stopped any of my students from kind of having success. And then, excuse me, Sherry, since Google and others change their algorithms often, is the info updated regularly? Yeah, so I know everything changes so often. That's one of the non-joys of teaching anything in tech, is all the updates. So yeah, we do our very best to stay on top of updates. Most of the content in the course doesn't need massive updates because it's kind of consistent. WordPress does update regularly, and my team keeps an eye on those updates. And if there's a big change, we will update the content to kind of say, right, you know, here, do this, or this might look different, and there. I am looking at doing a complete revamp of the course, probably sometime in the new year, but as of now, it is up to date. We do our best, but it's hard with every change out there that is made.
And I would imagine that once you learn the fundamentals, right? The mindset of how these things work, then it's like anything at work, right? We all have jobs and things update in our jobs as well, and we just kind of have to learn how to do things differently in our jobs, right?
Yes.
The
Oh, yeah.
normal changes that just, yeah.
And that's another thing is I think it's a kind of a healthy way to learn and figure things out, because even if the course content was like updated every single day, which, you know, manpower wise isn't quite possible, but even if it was, I don't want to, you know, make it that there's an element of being able to see if something doesn't work, and then going, that doesn't work. Okay, how do I figure out how to get it to work? And going and looking in Google or asking in GeekPack in the community. And then that's where so much learning happens, because if it's just kind of given to you on a platter and you're just kind of going along and doing the thing, I think there's a lot more active learning when something doesn't work. And then you have to figure out how to get it to work. And then that just is that part of your brain where it's just in troubleshooting and problem solving mode. And then, I mean, it's endless, the things that you can offer as a service, whether if you do this as a side hustle, or you start your own business, or you are in a job and you want to kind of get a promotion or things like that. But as soon as you know and realize your own potential to just figure things out, the sky's the limit. And that's really at the heart of the program, is, you know, learning how to figure things out, and learning a skill like coding is such a great way to do that.
It's a great skill also that employers like to see across the board, that you have that ability to troubleshoot, right? And what a great thing to say, well, I do it over here. You know, I troubleshoot all the time. Things change all the time. I have to figure it out, to be able to say for any job that we're doing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Let's see, we have, thank you so much from Tequila. Thank you so much for the info you are giving. You are awesome, Julia, for doing this and giving people the opportunity to grow and learn new things. I am filling out the application. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Very well. Any other questions, ladies, before we go?
Hey, this is Amara. I do want to thank you so much for this opportunity. I can tell you I investigated having someone build Dress for Success Denver, a specific website that was not connected to our worldwide, and I received a quote of $20,000. So there's a lot going on with our website, and there is no e-commerce. It's just a donate. But I want to thank you so much for this information. This is fantastic. And shameless plug, If you know somebody who might be interested in doing a website that is not 5 figures, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
And that's another thing. I do have I have a lot of people come to me because a lot of people know that I teach women how to build websites and you know, the hard part of WordPress. And I have a lot of people come to me and say, hey, I need a website, or, you know, I need help with X, or my website was hacked, or whatever. And then I have a hire form. So every week we have a weekly newsletter that goes out to all my students, and that's where we have job opportunities that have come in, both paid, and we also have a program called Geek Pack Match, where nonprofits that can't afford a website, like a zero budget for a website, they can apply to have a very simple 5-page website built by one of my new students who just wants experience. So it's a very much a win-win, where the nonprofit gets a website and my new student gets experience, and they build a website for, you know, an organization that needs it. So we have unpaid nonprofit opportunities, and we have paid opportunities that come through as well, and y'all would be eligible for that.
Awesome. Yes. Well, going once, any more questions? Going twice?
I do. I want to get the information for the children's class.
Oh, the kids code camp. Yeah. So can you email me? And this goes for any of y'all. If you have any questions, is it okay, Gloria, if I give them my email? Is that okay? It's julia@geekpack.co. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
And, you know, I would love to see from y'all is some screenshots. If you go in and do some inspect tool stuff, I always get such a kick out of that. But yeah, you feel free to email me with any questions about the application or anything else. And I'm more than happy to get back.
I'm already thinking I'm going to go home and start messing around. See
It's
what I can do.
It's so fun, especially when you kind of change things and you take a screenshot and you show other people. Because if you've never kind of seen how it's done, I think I've been doing this for years and I still get a kick out of inspect tools. I just think it's magical. So, you know, call me a geek, totally fine. I'm good for that. I'm on a mission to change the views of the word geek and making it a very positive word. So yeah, awesome. Oh, Demi just filled out the application. Excellent.
Oh, hey.
Awesome.
Well, ladies, you know, please, if you are interested and you really want to do this, turn in that application as soon as possible. Again, the deadline, the last date to turn in that application is
October 8th.
October 8th.
That's what I put on the application. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So please do not procrastinate if you are really interested in that class. All right. Well, our time is up. Ladies, thank you so much for being here with us tonight and learn about this opportunity. You know, whether you're interested or not, we learned something today, right? And so, Julia, thank you again. Thank you so much for sharing that information and for choosing us to give those scholarships to. So thank you very much. So ladies, we go forth with confidence, courage, and believe in ourselves. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too. Thank you, everyone.